Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Tarot for Our Times. Um, Once again, there's a lot going in, and if I wanted to narrow it down to, let's say, the corruption, as in the, do I have it in reverse? Oh, Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Upright, this is the happy, cooperating family creating prosperity. It looks like they're pretty hard workers too, and both of them are multi-generations. In reverse, this is the crime family that seems to be running the show right now. And the latest thing, if you know the latest thing to get your blood pressure up, is that in a press conference, Fotis was talking about the gold card, which means you can buy a green card, get permanent residency, and get a quick path to citizenship just for $500 million. That's all you have to pay. And one of the reporters asked if there would be Russian oligarchs, and he said he was praising them highly. He said, "Oh yes, there would be, and they're just really nice, regular guys." So that should probably send a little chill down your spine. Um, this is all from the puppet master Putin. And just when I thought they couldn't think of anything sleazier, oh boy, you have to wonder what will tomorrow bring. So we're going to see what the cards have to say about if the purpose of selling these green cards, and will it work, and the results. I know this is just like, I read this, I can't even believe it. So first, I mean, the purpose is probably fairly obvious. About he thinks that's going to wipe out our debt. Well, let us see about this. Okay, we're going to see if this is going to magically happen. So, okay. So we will start out with the Tarot Royale with the Rider Waite cards and see what we come up with. So, oh, the signifier. This is interesting. So, this would seem like this is it. This is their weakness. This is, and I've talked about strength in reverse before. This is to really show a false set of strength where really none exists. So this is telling me that this may be out of desperation, because usually when you're pretty weak and you want to show your strength out, it's desperation. And I think it's because they know somebody. I don't think he's got any brains left to know, but I think someone had told him that with don't get me started on that budget, that with giving these big tax breaks, they can cut and slice and dice all they want to, but there's still going to be a big deficit. So in his little mind, he seems to think they're all going to be rushing at our shores, and just bada bing, bada boom. That's gonna fill up the trillions of dollars of deficit. I couldn't believe it. Well, I can believe anything that he did say that. So energetically, we have, yep, trying to amass more money, but this guy is kind of toiling at it, so it has to make you wonder if they realize how that isn't going to be quite as easy as it sounds. And I always look at this guy like putting a few dollars here and a few dollars there away from his paycheck, his meager paycheck, and if he doesn't touch it over the years, it's grown. This may be nickels and dimes because I'm not too sure. Maybe the reading will tell us. I'm not too sure that people are really going to want to come here. So let's see what's going on underneath. Boy, this is going to be a real battle to do this. I mean, probably I should think he may have to get that through Congress, which has pretty much been rubber stamping a lot of his stuff, but this may be a bit much. So there is a struggle, and this is something they've been struggling with in the past. So let's see what. Oh, here we go again. Strength in reverse. Boy, this is like the last one. This is like trying to show some strength of show some strength that really isn't there, that doesn't exist, and when it comes up twice, it's like whoa. Okay, so the Page of Cups. This is kind of like all about in reverse. It's pretty much about this identity crisis they seem to be going through. All it's been is slash here and slash there without thinking, and it's almost like a kid, the spoiled kid, just messing up all of his toys and scattering them around and not liking any of them, and just not knowing who he is, that kind of a thing. So this may be the big attempt to find identity. So in opposition, we have the Nine of Wands, which is about this guy's pretty defeated here. And it's a Nine of Wands in reverse. And this is, I think they're getting desperate because with all this stuff they have done is so crazy. I mean, they are dismantling a lot of stuff, but it doesn't seem to be anything that's really going to stick for a while. And they don't have too many more things to recover. So I would say this is something, a desperate move to try to recover, because it seems like they're kind of working with band-aids and things like that. And I mean, the damage is deep, but it's not a permanent damage, and it's not a lasting one. So let's see, we got here, and so we've got the Four of Pentacles, and it's like in the past, it's been trying to hold on to money in our national treasury, but they're not doing it the right way. And I'm going to say this is reflecting on his failed businesses of the past. So these MAGA people who think that our government needs to be run by his businesses, well, take a look at his businesses. I mean, it's pretty hard to make a casino fail, yet he did that. So this is just kind of like a really bad business decision. It's like he hangs on to his money on one hand, and then he lets it go foolishly, which is about what this is all about. And I think the stinginess comes from not paying contractors and vendors and things like this, and then making very, very foolish business investments. I'm kind of thinking that this kind of thing is to prove to the world that he is a brilliant businessman. It isn't about, as I look at these cards, it's not about filling the treasury, although that's just like a window dressing. He wants to negate the fact that everybody knows that every single thing, the steaks, the vodka, the this, the oh, and the university which he got sued for, like right and left, all of that. So this is to prove that he is the great businessman. That's what this is about. I thought, oh, I can't believe I'm going to read on it. It seems so obvious. Well, not really. Okay, so then in the conscious thoughts, we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. So I think that this is just a messed up message. I would say that this is about bad mental health, and I mean this goes for him and the muskrat. What they think is a great, wonderful, romantic idea, we're going to save the country, is kind of messed up with the fact that 45 is losing his mental capacity. If you've heard any of those news conferences, and the muskrat is, for entertainment purposes only, is having a ketamine high all the time. So it's starting to really manifest itself on the surface, and it's quite obvious, and it's only those Kool-Aid drinkers in the highest level of denial would think otherwise. I mean, that chainsaw thing, and then he couldn't the muskrat couldn't string a coherent sentence together. So subconsciously, I think subconsciously they're trying to reconcile this partnership. And I think this well, I wouldn't be surprised if the muskrat maybe came up with this idea, and probably one of the only original ideas. I think maybe they came up with it together, but I think they know they need to stick together. And I've said in previous readings that they both have something on each other, and it has to do with the election, and it's buying votes and maybe fooling around with the voting machines, which hasn't been able to be proven yet. And they have all of this dirt on each other, so they have to stick together. And this little kid here, this is their latest brainchild, and so they're always coming up with it. Now, they're not consciously thinking we're stuck with each other, but that's the subconscious thing, and that is very well a big motivator in this whole thing. So let's see what's going on now with this. I'm sure they've been dialing for oligarchs for days now. So let's see what's going on now. Okay, so this is the Be Careful What You Wish For card, and it is in reverse. And the whole thing is that this is the smug merchant thinking he's gotten it made and sitting in his comfortable little world. I always look at him as like cut off from the others, and his emotions are kind of like up on the shelf and everything. And so he's clueless, especially in reverse. He's absolutely clueless. So the absurdity of this whole thing is something that they are completely oblivious to. And if this were to happen, I think that the blowback would be so hard but they would be very surprised by it. So I feel as though I need to pull another one for the present. And this is interesting. This one's come up a lot. This is walking away. I want to say they're walking away from all of the old stuff that people normally do to raise money for the treasury. Probably have their hands in it too as well. It seems like they're just walking away from the traditional stuff and going to, and that moon is like the lunacy of it all, and walking to just the next bizarre, little scheme they have, because they are part of the corrupt family. They're part of, they want to go back to their, and their families are kind of like, I mean, they are each other's family now. They're stuck with each other, whether they know it or like it or not. So this is like, going on to God knows what the next thing it is that they're going to be cooking up. So let's see what we have in hopes and fears. The Knight of Swords. Yep, this is one of the galloping knights. The Knight of Swords with trying to, now the hopes that they will be able to communicate this to the public, to sell it. And what is that? That's looks like that could be a hawk. But but that's a predatory bird. And so it's kind of like that this is where the fear comes in. I think they've seen the ratings that they have. I mean, which are going into the toilet faster than the toilet can flush. So they're trying to communicate this BS, but I think they know, like, the vulture or the predatory bird is sort of circling. So they're going to gallop on through without thinking much about it. And the thing is that, his voice sounds really strange, like this, like really phlegmy kind of, which makes me wonder, like, what's going on with his lungs. And then the muskrat, he cannot put a sentence together. It's like, and I used to know people that when they were they would take a lot of speed and they couldn't stay on the subject, and they would go from one tangent to another, and that's what the muskrat sounds like. But I also think that if they watch a playback of that stuff, they've got to be a little bit fearful that maybe they're not communicating. But hope springs eternal. So let's see what's going on in the not too distant future. I'm going to say that this is, I think that what's going to happen is that something about this is going to go wrong, and they know they have to, deep down, they know they have to sort of ditch this crazy idea, but I think they can't decide because the blindfold's up, and I think it's like they can't decide that, or are we going to go to some other harebrained, I mean, he was selling those hats in the Oval Office when he talked about, I mean, this is craziness. And here we have the moon, lunacy, absolute lunacy. This is what this is. I think they had a purpose for this, but I don't think they know if that purpose is being fulfilled. So let's see. Let's take this further out and see what's going to happen. Queen of Cups. When I see royalty in reverse, I'm going to say it's going to fail. And this is kind of the emotional thing. The needy, victimizing, Queen of Cups in reverse. They're going to, when these rich people say, no thanks, I'm happy where I am, they're going to take it very personally. So they'll take it incredibly personally, and this is further out. I mean, they may have some takers, but it certainly isn't going to add up to trillions. They'll be lucky if it adds up to $1 billion. Okay, so then the outcome of this is the Four of Swords in reverse. And I'm going to take it back to this old, the kids getting mono in college card type of meaning about saying if they don't give this a rest and forget about this, the universe will step in and make them give it a rest. So I would say that this could be such a big flop. Of course, they will never admit that. But I'm also going to say that this is going to take a further toll for entertainment purposes only on both of their health. And so, what can we learn from all of this? Let's see. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse. So this is felon 45. I mean, this is. I have taken him to be the corrupt king. The King of Pentacles in reverse is the corrupt thing, and the motivation is getting the money. And I would say, like, some of it will go in the treasury, but I think some of it will be skimmed off the top. I would say that the muskrat could probably share that throne too. I've heard him referred to as like the Emerald King with all of that green, and that somehow maybe with South African mining and all of that, that can be the muskrat. But they both need to share that throne, because the only thing that matters to them is money. And anything you do to get money, well, that's business, so it's okay. I have heard drug deal. That's what, that's like what drug dealers say. Well, I had to kill that guy, business, and, that kind of thing. So, this is just from Sleazeville, but why am I not surprised? And so, let's see. We're going to see if it works or how it's going to work, or should be a very interesting read here. So I'm going to get these cards up, and I'm probably going to, I'm going to switch the decks to make it interesting. Go to the Llewellyn and the Moon Garden. I haven't used those Moon Garden cards in a while. Still getting used to them, but I really like them. Okay, so put these guys away here. I mean, and this goes to the public reaction. I mean, how could anybody that works in government, no matter how conservative or liberal, think that this is not corruption at its worst? I mean, this is like him. People bought pardons after his first term, and I mean that. And 5 million. Other things should be a real deal breaker, but I find it disturbing that people don't find this disturbing. Okay, we're going to put since we're using that deck, we're going to put this in the deck of the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So I have been shuffling, but I will shuffle again to see, like, what could this be bringing in? I think that if anybody wants to do it, it would be, Colombian drug lords and Russian kiddie porn traffickers and all this stuff this is what this is telling me. I think probably criminals would be, well, we'll see what the cards say, but I get a strong feeling it would be criminals that are that would want this, because this is where they could be safe. And then, of course, your children aren't going to be safe with these creeps running around. And they talk about, this is the irony. He talks about people flooding the borders with fentanyl. What do you think these guys are going to be doing? I mean, come on. Well, let's see what the old cards have to say about that. And I've been shuffling these guys too. So, as I talk, the possibilities are really limitless. Okay. So how will it work? And also, like, what kind of people? This is going to be, what kind of people will this be bringing in? So we have here we have, again, it's a different deck, strength in reverse. The false sense of strength, which is what the criminal world is all about. So this strength in reverse, boy, that has been coming up. I call it that chest beating stuff that guys like to do, but they're very weak. And anybody that would come up with this kind of a harebrained scheme, that's really coming from a position of weakness. So let's see, energy wise, we have the world. And that really means the conclusion of a cycle. I see that we have this fairy that has gone with the wings. She's made the cycle of going from a caterpillar to a butterfly. So she's gone the whole cycle here. So that on top of, I'm going to say that maybe it means that they've exhausted a lot of possibilities. So now what they're doing is going for, something new. Like they say, all the old stuff, that's over. So we're going to do something new now. Okay, so underneath of it all is the Five of Pentacles. And this is about poverty and being left out in the cold, which I'm going to say is the citizens, the working people, that this is not going to be helping them at all, and this was never their intention for this to be helping them at all, but it sounds like a good little con here. So then right now we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So not only is this a corrupt woman, but I am going to say that the national security has resonated with me. I'm going to say this is really a threat to national security, because if people can buy their way in, as I say, the scummy types are going to get in. And I will say this about this card is that there could be, aside from the Russian oligarchs, there could be some, and here we go back to the 9/11 thing, there could be some terrorists that are being backed up with Saudi money to get into this country. And so, because I keep feeling we've got all of this stuff piling up. You've got Gaza, you've got the FBI, and all of our intelligence groups like fired and with bad leadership, and going after somebody that said, a reporter that was unflattering to him, that that we're leaving ourselves wide open for terrorism. And if people can buy their way in, that this is a real threat to national security, really a big threat. And I hate to say it, but it's going to take something like that to wake people up. I mean, this is just unbelievable. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is bad harvest. This is the bad harvest of setting all of these things up that are probably going to maybe amount to what, 800 million or so. I mean, it's just not a well planned out thing. It's crazy. So I want to see, what is the opposing thing of this? It's the Hierophant. This is just another thing to kind of upend and mess up with all of our institutions. That this whole, I mean, now that I was thinking, it's just kind of like corrupt people buying their way in, but as I talk about it and look at the cards, I'm going, holy cow, what kind of people are going to be coming in here? I mean, they think it's the poor brown ones. No. I mean, granted, there have been some bad players with those, but these guys that they're letting in is what they become. Do you know what I mean? And they don't become this by, doing day labor and picking tomatoes and stuff. They get into crime. So this is what he talked about, bringing in not the best. Well, this is what's happening. So let's see. In the past, we have the King of Cups, and all I can say about this is it takes a pretty sick mind to come up with this. And I'm also going to say, with the grandiosity and the constant high the muskrat is on, which is King of Cups classic in reverse. They're just not seeing this. They're just seeing this through a set of eyes they've been seeing this very distorted, not considering any of this or caring about any of this. So we have that. So let's see their conscious thoughts in how this is going to work. Well, consciously they think that if we can just stop everything else, or maybe have people stop thinking about all the other destruction they've been doing, that they can just concentrate, just let all that. That's the thing. Let all that slide. And so they can institute this buying of the green cards thing. So then we have, on the subconscious level, judgment. This is kind of an interesting judgment with the guy lying. Oh, see, in the other decks, they're arising from the dead. Not so much here. This guy's coming in. I guess Gabriel, the Archangel Gabriel, is going to come in and try to get them up. I don't think he's going to have much luck. So it's, I think with judgment and the subconscious, it's like these are insecure little boys who are afraid of being judged by other people. So they just numb themselves out with these crazy schemes, and it's all about money, that anything can be bought. I don't know that Gabriel's going to have much luck in waking them up to reality, but deep down inside, this is what's motivating them, but they would never admit that on a conscious level. So let's see what we have, what's going on in the present now. In the present now, we have the Lovers. So this is their teaming up. I think that this has both of their names written all over it. They probably finished each other's sentences coming in. But there's like that whole Adam and Eve. Yep, there's that whole Adam and Eve deal with the angel and the little creepy crawlies and stuff like that. So this is the temptation. They're giving into the temptation of doing something that's really evil, but of course they're totally unaware of that. Okay, so we've got that going on. So let's see what our hopes and our fears are. Oh, the devil. Reading about them is never complete until the devil comes in. Oh, this is kind of like a Mardi Gras devil here in this deck. Okay. And it's interesting because I just finished watching Just Love for Marianne of Revealing Light Tarot. She came up with the devil and something, not this exactly, but the corruption and all that sort of thing. And she said, we are living in the energy of the devil right now. And it comes down to, we wouldn't be in this mess if people were kind of like not addicted to this sort of thing with him. And I call them the ones that voted for him, I call them the 3-time losers. So we've got the devil that's just been hooking everybody up with this nonsense, and it's telling me that the Kool-Aid drinkers probably think this is absolutely brilliant. We're going to get all of this money, then we're going to get our big checks and yada yada yada. So this is their hope. This is their hope that the devil's going to bring them there. You know, they're going to just sell their souls and have the devil give them their stimulus checks. But then that's the fear of dancing with the devil too. So, which will come from the rest of the population. I think on their part, it's like those two of them are chained to the devil, and they feel as though it gives them the strength, which is the strength card in reverse. But they're also kind of fearful. There, along with that comes the fear that it may fail, or the fear that they may have consequences to pay for this. Because, you know, with this devil energy comes the fear that 45 has had with going to prison, and this was a big driving force for him to run for this office. So then let's see what's coming up a bit in the future. In the future we have big meltdown. Big meltdown. I think those two, they don't sleep or anything. I mean, the muskrat is definitely doing something to keep himself going. I think that 45, felon 45, he's got his doctors giving him some strange cocktail, I'm pretty sure for entertainment purposes only. And I'm going to see that, you know, that is not sustainable. So I think that when they realize this isn't just a real simple, easy idea, and that there could be a lot of big public blowback over this, there could be melting down. Now, whether they do it in public or in private, that's anybody's guess. So that could be coming up in the not too distant, or if they can't get you know, Congress and agree with it, or the courts or whatever, that this is just like huge tantrum, just huge tantrum coming up. Then, as we look more in the future, it's been a while. Page of Swords. If all else fails, just keep lying. But I'm going to say that this is going to be like little kid lies that everybody will see through, because I'm going to say the Ace of Cups in reverse, it's talking about the loss of love, the continuous loss of love that people will have for them. So they will tell lies, you know, it'll be like the dog ate my homework kind of lies. And so what is the result of all of this wonderful stuff? The result of this is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. That it was a really stupid, juvenile way of trying to make money. I think it's going to fail. You don't want this to succeed, because what's going to happen is if those people can buy their way in, they are parasites that are going to suck the blood right out of us, and they'll find ways of birds of a feather. They'll find ways of stealing more money from us. And I would say that the more blatant ones, if they have to face the justice system, they're probably going to be trying to buy and bribe their way out of that. So this is not going to be good. This is just not going to be and it may not even, it's probably not going to work either, because I think criminals it's easier for them to be criminals in other countries. So then what do we have to learn from all of this? We've got the Lovers in reverse. I'm going to say there's going to be less of a love affair with him and with those two, because there are more and more people becoming disenchanted, and that hardcore of MAGA cultists, I think that's a core that's not a really big core anymore, that and some of that is as hard as that is, some of that is peeling off. But I'm also going to say that it's not only that, but as this doesn't work out so well, the muskrat, or if this is just some pipe dream that isn't going to come off because someone will, rein them in, they will be blaming each other, and their little bromance could really hit the rocks. I think they're actually stuck together, but what this is saying is that publicly they won't even be able to put on that act anymore. And I think that this is a lesson of this whole national mentality of easy money. We are the world capital of easy money. And this is like this scheme of ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. They fork over $5 million. We give them the gold card. They give them the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. But it all sounds very good talking about it on paper, but it doesn't really work. Either they're not going to do it, or you really will get the scum of the earth in here. And but I think this, again, this administration, and I mean, it's like we have to be hit like over the head with a sledgehammer with this. It's like this whole mentality of money is king. It doesn't matter how we can get it, but it's the illusion of, I just got a brilliant idea and it's going to be such easy money, but no one's thinking of the consequences with this at all or whatsoever. And this is just, I think that people better hope that it just fizzles out altogether and they really don't get many takers. Just hope, because then we're talking about, we're really not getting the best of them. So we need to do some this is a reflection of what's been building up for so long about how we look at money and our values, and selling our soul to the devil. I mean, this is what this is. It's okay as long as it brings in money. And I think this is when people stop to think about this. I can't be the only one in the world that's thinking, well, the drug dealers and the kitty traffickers and the really, really scum of the earth are going to come in. And terrorists, too. Yeah, let's throw a few terrorists with some Saudi oil money to express use those poor Palestinians as big pawns in whatever sicko game they have. So people, it's like we don't think ahead, like, oh, we'll make some fast money, and then you don't think ahead of what could happen with that. So I hope that people have some serious discussions about this, and I hope that it doesn't go through or it fails, because we have enough problems as it is. And I did I don't know how many readings ago I said, oh yeah, whenever that will buy Gaza and turn it into the Riviera and the Hamptons all rolled into one, and I said, oh boy, nothing like inviting some terrorists to come in. I don't know that it would be on the scale of 9/11, but it would be one here, an incident there. But so we have that coming in, so people better think about that before they say, what a great idea that is. So with that, I will say bye for now, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.